So with regard to mental health, coming to the table, having a conversation with a lot of the things that are going on in the city, how do you move from that conversation forward? It's a real difficult thing to answer because I think the table, where the conversations happen, are where the next steps emerge. And so I think having a seat at the table is incredibly important. The people that feel led in these areas want to give their life to them, being a part of those conversations, because for a lot of people, they just plug in at the level of an event or a program. So here's a day where we're going to feed the homeless, or we're going to go do this, which is a wonderful thing, but it's an event. I show up on this day to perform this action out of my compassion. That's not really where the strategy is or the long-term change is going to come from with regard to how we serve the homeless in this community. And so being at the table where it's really being talked about synergistically and collaboratively, like that space really is the ballgame in my mind. And I would hope more and more people find their way there. The reason Antioch doesn't do programs for, say, the homeless or other things is we're trying to equip and empower individuals to go find meaningful ways to get involved in this city. And if we program it and just say, show up at this day, this time, this place, people will come, they'll do the action, and then they'll go home, but they're never going to really connect in a sustainable and deep way that both fits their passions, their calling, their giftedness. I mean, a lawyer that gets to the table or starts meeting with somebody, say at the homeless clinic, is going to begin to say, I don't know that feeding the homeless is really, over the long run, how I can best serve you, but let me help you with your nonprofit status, or let me help you this way. And the next thing they know, they're being asked to join the board because they need somebody on the board that understands legal documents or risk or insurance or those kinds of things. And all of a sudden that person, as their own individual self, is deeply connected in a sustainable way and meaningful way with that organization. And so we try not to program things here. We really try and resist that pressure that people bring to always create programs. And we really trying to just teach a theology that when you understand God, the heart of God, it shapes how you understand people, and it begins to give you a heart for people. And so we really try and just encourage people, like what you're saying, to find a seat at a table or grab somebody that is at the table or is involved in an organization and begin to meaningfully dialogue with them about how you might be able to plug yourself in a way that fits who you are, allows for that expression, and it's sustainable. You're going to be there a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. So I'm excited for that question, but what are the next steps coming off of that conversation about mental health in Central Oregon as it relates to maybe different other organizations or causes? I'm looking forward to you telling me how that's going to go. I think that's where it's going to come. Yeah. The question was, with regard to someone who's involved with mental health that's going to be at a table with a lot of the other organizations, as I understood it, a lot of other organizations or causes in this town, having a conversation about what does this really look like, or how do we collaborate, or how do we raise attention for this? What are the next steps coming out of that? And I'm simply kind of saying, I think the beauty of conversations are that they have that's where the creative potential exists with the right people in the room, and it leads to the next steps. They emerge from conversations like that. So that's why that word table is a big thing. There's an evangelical immigration table, and it's basically using that word to say the evangelicals who care about immigration have this kind of table where the dialogue is happening. It's not a physical table, but it's basically bringing them all together so that they're in conversation, So I think table is a really good use by you, good word to utilize.